Hello, friends. Welcome back to Shots in the Walk-in. My name is Anna,
And my name is Renee.
and her name is Renee. And Renee went through hair and makeup today, so if you want to head over to our YouTube channel and take a little peek at her, she looks glamorous as fuck.
She said that I look like I'm going to go to the ball, but really,
Yeah,
I just put lipstick on. So
you look like a princess.
thanks.
Anytime.
I am a
It's
fucking
true.
princess.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do princesses do? They like to take a shot. So
Take
Renee,
shots.
what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking Husong's Añejo tequila.
Mm,
And it is tasty as F.
heck yeah.
So,
All
yeah.
right. Well, cheers, my little princess.
Cheers. It's good.
Delicious.
It really is so good. I'm not a big like añejo dude.
Yeah.
Um, and full disclosure, I got it by mistake.
Yeah.
Because straight up the bottle looks like it should be a Blanco, but it is so good.
It's a white
So
bottle. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a little confusing.
it's white and blue. It just
Ooh,
says añejo pretty big on it, but I
yeah.
didn't see that part. But it's really good. I'm not mad at all.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
delicious.
yeah,
Thanks, Songs. We love you. We used to drink so much Songs at a bar that I worked at many years ago, and Renee worked there briefly
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And we used to, like, one person a week or every other week was in charge of going to the liquor store and buying a bottle of it because we would replace one.
Yep.
Because every safety meeting, we would drink songs. So it kind of added up, you know?
I mean, yeah, you need a safety meeting every now and again. And also, we were much younger.
Much younger. Yeah, I can't hit it like I used to. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. And hey, at least you replaced it,
Oh, yeah. We were thoughtful.
Yeah,
We were good
that's
employees.
fine.
We were great employees. Well, anywho, our apologies for our technical difficulties last week. We ended up not releasing an episode. We
Yeah.
actually had one recorded. It was great fun. We talked to our friend Joe, and the internet was kind of spotty. I don't know. Anyway, boring story. But
Yeah.
it just ended up not sounding okay at all.
Yeah, I tried real hard. I gave it a good like 3 hours of editing to try to salvage it. And it was like it didn't do him justice. So we're going to reschedule that interview for a later date. And hopefully we can just do it in person because Joe's the best. And we love him very much. So
Yeah, for sure.
keep your eyes peeled for that in the future. Joe, we love you. Sorry.
Sorry, but also sorry that Zoom made you sound like a robot. That's not, we didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah. This is big internet.
Yeah, it
Fuck
was
them.
snowing. We were blaming it on the snow. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Anyway,
this week we're gonna just do a solo episode, no guest. We decided to talk to some of our friends that don't work in the industry and have no history in the industry and said, hey, do you have any questions for service industry folk, bartenders, servers, the whatever? And then we have some written down here and we're just gonna question and answer with each
yeah,
other.
for sure. Yeah, we thought it was kind of an interesting thing. I know there's a lot of kind of misconceptions about this industry and things that people who have never worked in a restaurant or bar, whatever,
Yeah.
might go into one and be like, huh, this is kind of weird. Why is that a thing? Or why do they do it this way? Or why am I, you know, tipping for this but not for that? Those kinds of things. So
Yeah. And full disclosure, we can only give our opinions. So and you know,
which are
so
always
which are always
right.
100% correct.
Yeah. Yeah, we for sure know what we're talking about, which is why you're choosing to listen to us anyway. So
Yeah, totally.
it's gonna be fine.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fine. All right. Well,
All right. You want to start her
let's
off?
get on the road. Yeah, let's get on the road here. Okay, so maybe let's kind of start with an easy one here. And of course, I just read, "Do you guys all bang each other?" But we'll save that one for later. Okay, so let's start with an easy one. What drink can you order that will make the bartender hate you? This is kind of one of my favorite questions,
Me too.
honestly, because this comes up a lot, and a lot of bartenders or service industry people have very strong opinions about this. It's always like, someone ordered a mojito, like,
Yeah,
tell them we're out of mint. And that drives me bonkers
me
because
too.
literally it's your only job to make the damn mojito.
Oh my God, yes.
Like,
I can't stand that shit. It always drove me crazy. And like, to be fair, you and I worked at a place where like craft cocktails were on the menu and we were a speed bar. So like we would have to make uh and mojitos was like the one of the number one ordered cocktails on that menu, and then everything else was still just like actually harder, or like harder as in like more steps, whatever.
yeah, more steps, more ingredients, whatever.
Yeah, and like and it was not uncommon for someone to be like, hey, I need 8 mojitos, 6 lemon drops, and fucking 4 touchdowns or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like, yeah, you got
yeah.
to pound that shit out. But for wow, my God, whenever I hear bartenders be like, oh fuck mojitos, like I hate making mojitos, that's the worst, or anything that you have to muddle or like put
You're
a
lazy.
tiny bit, yeah, you're
Guess what? You're lazy
lazy.
as fuck.
You should work at a dive bar. And
Yeah.
also, if you are going to a dive bar, don't order a mojito.
Yeah, yeah, there's a caveat here.
Yeah, but I'm fully with you on that.
It's
I
it's
cannot
not
stand it when
okay.
people say that shit. So the real answer to that question is it depends on the kind of bar that you go to, I guess. If I was working like at Havana and somebody wanted like a hot toddy, that's annoying, because why are you ordering a hot toddy at a nightclub? And people would try to order that kind of shit, or like
Yeah.
any like warm drink, or people would ask for a bloody mary, which isn't that annoying, but like it's just not ingredients that are on the ready.
Yeah. Sure. That's a good point. So I feel like brunch cocktails during non-brunch hours can be
Yeah,
annoying, just because you don't generally have those things prepped.
yeah,
You can go get them, yeah, of course, but they're just not prepped. Like some, like, I don't know if I've said this. This happened like last summer, but some guy came up. I don't know. I must have been helping behind the bar or something, but he comes up and he goes, so this is like a Saturday, Friday or Saturday night. And he's like, so they like make bacon and eggs? I know they have it back there because you have brunch. And we were like, absolutely not. He's like, why? I know that you have it. We're like, no, like it's not prepped, it's not out, that's not how this works, it's not on the
yeah.
menu. It's kind of the same thing. Like it's not ready because we're not prepared to do it at that time, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, maybe the overall like the true answer to this for somebody that doesn't understand is that the bars and restaurants are prepped for certain things that they specialize in, but also it counts for like the time of day. What kind of
Yeah.
menu is out right now? Because this guy that wanted bacon and eggs because they have it at brunch on a Saturday night or whatever,
Yeah.
that shit's all put away. Like they got night menu stuff out. So like, no, that's not, you're asking for everyone to stop what they're doing and like go into the walk-in or whatever and like pull out all this shit. No, it's just not.
No.
No,
No.
nope.
Absolutely not. Well, and on the kitchen side of things, we'll just keep going on this one. A lot of prep work goes into creating the meal that you are eating, depending on the type of restaurant you're at. So,
Yeah.
a lot of the time, certain foods will be par cooked
Yep.
or, partway cooked. Um, and when you order them, the people cooking them will grab those things, they'll throw them in a hot pan, whatever, get them to the desired temperature or, you know, however they're supposed to be serving it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just go, this isn't your kitchen. You don't just go and like put a little put a little skillet on the stove and toss some bacon in. Like that's not how they're cooking it. That's not how things work
Yeah.
in a high volume situation, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, what can you order that will make the bartender hate you? Nothing if your bartender's not a dick.
Yep.
But but just kind of stick to things that are actually near or close to the menu, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Absolutely. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Let's find another one.
Okay. We have like a huge list of questions, so it's gonna take me a sec here. Let me see.
Yeah, no worries. We can just edit it out. I kind of like a lot of the money ones. We can kind of go back and forth between, like,
Well, do you want to do $15 minimum wage?
sure.
Okay. Okay, next question is, what are your thoughts on adopting a national $15 an hour minimum wage?
That's kind of this can be like a bit of a loaded question situation,
Yeah.
because it does tend to be different in, just for certain types of work and jobs, different types of businesses. It's for sure can be a lot harder or easier depending on kind of what they're working with. But $15 minimum wage, essentially, I'm all about getting people who are working minimum wage jobs more money. We need it. People deserve it. You can't live on anything under that these days.
Well,
Well, depending on where you are in the country,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course. But so here in Washington, our minimum wage has generally been kind of on the higher side.
Yeah.
For as long as I've been working, I mean, it's never been like $3 an hour. I know it's like that in certain places.
I think when we started, it was probably like 7 something.
Yeah. And now it's climbed. I mean, it's, getting up there to 15 kind of everywhere in our state slowly. Certain small businesses are going to be detrimentally affected by this, which is kind of the other side of it.
Yeah.
That's a really tough one for sure.
Yeah, I think I like my perspective on this is coming from the business owner in me is saying that is really, really difficult, especially, I mean, like in Washington, in Seattle specifically, because we are in the greater Seattle, well, whatever, Seattle area. It's really expensive to live here. $15 an hour is absolutely not.
Oh, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's like even with $15 minimum wage, it's difficult to find a place in Seattle. People are getting pushed out over the years further and further out of the city because it's insane. Like you can get a house that is a like kind of a dump and needs a lot of work for $500,000.
Yeah, in one of the areas that is
outside of Seattle.
Outside of Seattle, where you still have to drive into the city if you work there. It's not.
Yeah. That's a 25-minute drive to city proper. And you're looking at $100K in renovations. You know what I mean? It's like, it's ridiculous. So
$15 isn't cutting it there for sure.
Right. But Arkansas, or wherever in the middle of the fucking country is completely different.
That in Arkansas, it's different. We've never been there.
I'm never going to Arkansas.
Not either.
It's not happening.
Love you.
But yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think we have any listeners in Arkansas. Who knows? But I think that I love the idea of getting people more money, just like you. But asking the entire country to do $15 minimum wage is just not the answer at this moment. Because if you were a small business owner, you just wouldn't be able to handle that.
Right. And to be fair, as restaurant workers, we have always made minimum wage unless
Mhm.
you are a salaried position. So we're used to having tiny paychecks, unless of course your cash tips and all of that stuff is going on there. But we're used to really living off of our tips, and then your paycheck is usually a couple $100 that you throw into your bank account and whatever, your
Yeah.
bills or something. But we're you know we're quite used to that for sure. It's a thing that you have to be comfortable with if you are going to get into this industry, especially kind of in a lower ranking position, which can be kind of weird. But I'd certainly rather, honestly, I think that this is one of the other questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few that we could piggyback on.
Yeah, would you rather live on minimum wage plus tips or a higher wage without tips?
Like
And
in
as
Europe.
right, sure. And the bartender in me says I'd rather live on minimum wage plus tips
Me
because,
too.
yeah, I feel a bit more in control of my money, and of course I can't control the traffic flow through the door and who comes in every night. But it's kind of part of what makes our jobs kind of rad. You're working for it, you're getting to know people, they're loving you and tipping you. Sometimes you just biff it totally and then you don't get, whatever. But I for sure would choose minimum wage plus tips
Yeah,
for this
I
position.
I agree with you. I think that there's just there's something really satisfying about um the direct correlation of your ability to do your job and the money that comes to that, right? Like,
Sure.
when you're really on and you're doing a great job, you walk away with more money straight up.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Or just getting your ass kicked all night and hustling for, it's usually 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe, just running your ass off. You're, it's a, can be a lot for sure, but
mhm.
it's kind of nice to look down at that number at the end of the night and just be like, man, I just killed it. This is
Yeah.
great. You know,
And
that's a good feeling.
I feel like that also there a big portion of that is gonna keep um good service, right?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
there's a direct link to how good of a job you're doing to how much money you're walking with. So
Yeah, good point.
it's
Totally.
you're gonna hone your skill
For sure.
because you have a fucking treat hanging in front of your face all the
Yeah.
time.
Not the grumpy person just grumping around.
Grumping around.
See that at home, folks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So minimum wage, $15 national minimum wage. We're gonna go thumbs down. Living on minimum wage plus tips instead of higher wage without tips, we're going to thumbs up.
Yep. Agreed. Um, we can also piggyback on that again because there's a bunch of questions on here that are kind of surrounding that topic.
Sure.
Um, so the person that asked me this question loves to travel and was like the first time that he went to like Australia, he was like shocked and amazed because he had such a great experience with this bartender and um got the receipt at the end of the service and was like, oh god, it's so annoying, like I'm sorry that they print this out, and scribbled out the tip line and gave him his receipt. And he just was like, I don't know, this is so weird because I want to show my appreciation with tipping, but it's like considered rude where they are. And then I was talking to another Australian bartender, and I think that hey, I don't know, because this is just in tucked in the back of my memory, but I feel like bartenders maybe make like $25 an hour.
Which that's like nothing to, what's the saying? Shake your tail at? That's not it.
Scoff at?
Nothing to wave your flag at. I don't know. What's that?
Wave your
What's
leg
that
at.
saying? Nothing to blink your eyes at. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think they get it.
Okay.
But what do you think the difference is between like service in a tipping country versus service in a non-tipping country? Is there a significant difference? You've
So,
traveled, I've traveled, we have
yeah.
traveled to vastly different places. What's your take on that?
So most of my traveling is throughout Asia and some Central America, those types of countries. W- it's kind of weird too because whenever I go anywhere, I always like one of the few things that I have to look up is what the tipping culture is.
Sure.
It's always I like have to know that ahead of time. I want to know. And I do think in Asian countries, there's a lot of pride um, kind of connected with what you do and what you do for work. And a lot of the people at the kinds of places that we tend to eat because we like to go to more local places. We want to eat how the people eat. We're not trying to go sit in a hotel. We don't stay in that kind of situation
You're
ever.
not going to like an Asian TGI Fridays.
Definitely not. But I mean, a lot of the people, in these countries, are they're the ones cooking your food. They're the ones serving you your food. They're the ones who have been making this food forever. There's a lot of pride connected to it. So I can't say that I've ever really experienced shit service in a lot of those situations because people actually do give a shit about what they're doing. It's not most of the time it's not like over here where we work for some dude who just had some money and wanted to open a restaurant, or maybe they, worked in a restaurant for a long time and then bought one, and this is how they do things. Um so I that's been my personal experience in a lot of the traveling that we've done is we always get good service because people actually give a shit about what they're doing, or
They
they do
take
care
pride
about
in
what
it.
they're doing. Yeah. And I think once you get into kind of more touristy areas, which is unavoidable when you're, in certain bigger cities, Bangkok or Mumbai, that kind of thing, um, the service will lack a bit because it is just a bunch of white people coming to these places that are kind of meant for tourists.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just always love going, and now I just want to go eat Indian food. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
curry.
I was like, yeah, you're wanting that curry right now, huh?
I always want curry.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, my like foreign country experiences have been very American friendly, so I can't speak the way that you have. I like Mexico, Japan, um like Tokyo, Japan. So
Right.
like major city, and then all over Italy. And it's pretty similar. I had my Italy experience was I don't think super normal. Like we went to really nice restaurants and there was
Yeah, it was a work trip, and you were going with someone who
it was a
had a
work
lot of
trip.
money and was,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I didn't pay for most of the stuff, which is pretty great.
Like you might have been
But
having very different experiences had it just been you and a friend, or you and whatever.
oh, 100%. There would have been, I think, 10% of the trip that I had in Italy would have been similar to what
Yeah.
if I had gone by myself. Um, so it was a very cool experience, but I still like tipping is my love language, when I'm out to eat. So I always over tip, and I still do. If there's an option for a tip line, I'm gonna tip like 30% to 50%
For sure.
depending on what's going on. But yeah, that's tipping is my love language.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's hard not to, especially as a service worker. A lot of the time like right before the first quarantine started, my partner and I were over in northern India, and a lot of what happens over there is if you are at kind of a bit nicer of a restaurant, they'll include this tax, which is essentially kind of a tourist tax, but it does act as a tip in certain situations. We don't, again, generally tend to eat in places like that, but we the norm is to kind of like leave the change or that kind of a thing, but it's just impossible not to throw in an extra dollar there, especially when it makes a difference to someone,
That's yeah.
a couple bucks or whatever,
Yeah.
I
Totally.
don't know. It's just impossible not to.
I especially feel like when I go to places that are very clearly not making as much money as I do or whatever.
Yeah.
I always pay more.
Yeah.
It's
For
that guilt that
for
I
sure.
have.
We're fortunate to live where we do, and that absolutely doesn't get lost on me for a second. And yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very real
And
thing.
I always feel like a dick being a tourist, or an
Yeah.
American at that. And when I was in
Yeah.
Italy the whole time, I was like, I'm Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am embarrassed.
I know. Yeah. There's definitely been certain times where we're wanting to do the same thing. Actually, Josh is kind of Canadian.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hmm. Canadian over here,
Woo.
folks.
By proxy.
Yeah. I live with one.
There
Uh,
you go.
okay. Well, I like that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, here's one that I think is good. Alrighty. So, should I tip on a to-go order and why?
Yes.
This is a good one. And this I've had a zillion friends and family members over the years ask me about. I
Especially
mean,
now.
especially now when most people are doing takeout instead of dine in or getting takeout more just to be supportive, which is awesome. Please keep doing that. Um, yes, you should tip on a to-go order, and let us tell you why. You do you want to talk?
No,
I
I'm
feel like I
listening.
just keep talking, okay? So there is a certain breakdown um tip wise that goes on in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So if you call into a restaurant, you talk to the hostess or maybe the bartender answers the phone. It just kind of depends on how that restaurant works. They're going to put your order in, the kitchen's going to make it, and then they'll bring it out. The person who took your order is probably going to process your payment, and that might be it. Maybe they'll ask you if you need anything extra, sauce, dipping, whatever. So the person that took your order and rang it in is going to have, say it's a $50 to go order, okay? That $50 is going to be counted towards their daily sales, and they most likely have to tip the kitchen a certain percentage of those daily sales.
Yeah.
So let's pretend that, I you and I've both worked in restaurants where the bartender does a lot of the to-go orders because
Mhm.
maybe the host is seating people, they just if someone answers the phone, it doesn't matter who.
Also, I just want to point out that a lot of restaurants, especially in COVID time, they don't have that support anymore.
Totally.
There is no like host, there is no expo, there is no busser. It's a lot of times in a lot of places right now that there's like 4 jobs that are now on one person.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, that's a really good point. Now this is especially a really huge thing. So if you are adding maybe $300, $400, $500, however much to your sales that day, you're tipping the kitchen however much money, whatever the percentage is in that particular restaurant, because they're working their asses off back there, and that's just how it works.
Yeah.
And we can get more into that, later or another episode or something. But essentially, not tipping on that $50 to go order, the person who put your order in is now paying
Yeah.
for that order. And
Yeah.
it might be only $1 or $2, $1.50. But if that happens 10 times that week, that's, 10,
10 times
15,
a
20
day. Yeah.
bucks. I mean, yeah, it doesn't, it just, it adds up, and it is a thing for sure. So I don't think that you necessarily need to tip 20% on a to-go order. I do because that's just who I am, and I'm in this industry, and I just always probably will. But
Oh yeah, me too.
throw in, $5, a few, but whatever, throw in a little something on there, definitely do it.
Yeah. And honestly, the bottom line is that when you are tipping a server or a bartender, whether it's a to-go, whether it's in-house, regardless, you're not just tipping the bartender, you're tipping the entire staff.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. So if you don't tip, that money is coming out of that server or bartender's pocket.
Exactly. Yeah, and that sucks because
yeah.
they're working really hard.
Yeah. And also, if you feel that you can't afford to tip on your meal, you can't afford to get a to-go meal, period. That's it. If you can't afford to tip the staff, you can't afford to eat out. Bottom line.
It's kind of it's a bummer thing. It's how these people are living, and it's the reality of it, unfortunately, And these days things are real tight for a lot of people. So I get it. Tight for everyone.
Yeah. Well, going grocery shopping and making your own meal is cheaper. So
And delicious.
yes.
Okay,
Truth.
well, what else do we got here? What do you think?
Is it my turn?
Sure. What's your least favorite demographic? Favorite demographic? That's funny.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Where is it? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, next question is, what is your most favorite demographic to serve and your least favorite demographic to serve, meaning like happy hour crew or bachelorette parties or like business folk? Anna?
Okay, this one's easy for me. My least favorite type of table to serve. And I will say that if you had asked me this maybe 10 years ago, I would have said like teenagers and young people. But honestly, teenagers have come a long way and they tip 20% these days, as far as for the most part, what I see. So my least favorite is going to be the frat bro party.
Yeah.
Just like high-fiving frat bros, just fucking drinking beer, spitting on everything, just blah.
Yeah.
Nope, sorry, I'm gonna definitely pass that one along to whoever else wants to take him.
Yeah, I agree with you, but because I have like straight PTSD from all of my years working as a server and mostly serving at the nightclub, my absolute least favorite group to serve 100% is bachelorette parties.
Okay.
They're the fucking worst because they come in already, most of the time they are like coming off of a fucking party bus and they've already gotten like some wine tour wasted at some other event.
Wine tour wasted. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
But you already know that these girls can't hold their shit anyway, and they're all wearing the same sparkly dress and they're all wearing dumb sashes and they have dick glitter coming out of their ears.
Oh yeah.
And their goal for the night is to not pay for anything and to get as absolutely hammered as possible.
Yeah, black out and show us your underwears.
I hate it. I hate them. And I like, those are the only parties that like sexually harass female servers too. They're like, I'm a girl too. Bonk, 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 boobies.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Can't do that.
We're all human beings. I know you're having a good night and you should have a good night, and that's great, but just be respectful to your fucking service people.
Yeah.
Because it's just a Wednesday for them.
It sure is. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that you sprinkled penis glitter in my hair one time, and
100%.
It was there for a week.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't wash my hair, it just wouldn't come out.
But
I probably washed my hair once, okay?
Yeah, totally.
Keep your dick glitter at home, humans, ladies. We don't want it. We don't want it in our hair.
It's a pain in the ass. Yeah. And it's a pain in the ass to clean too. Everything about it's just, they're a nightmare. unless
Okay,
you're
bachelorette
cool and
parties.
you're bachelorette, unless you're very cool. There's been like a small handful of bachelorette girls. It's usually like a second marriage situation and they're all in their 40s and they're like, we're gonna get a nice bottle of champagne and be adults about this. Then
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, I would be into that.
Yeah.
Oh, or we just stick the bachelorette party and the frat bros together, and it's like, it's like watching the exhibit at the zoo where you just kind of know what something weird's going to happen, but
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden there's a wang out and you want to run away.
Yeah. And then the frat dude runs to the bar and says, give me 7 of your cheapest shots.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna be well vodka.
Yeah. Well, gin, if I really don't like you. And I'll warm it up for you in between my legs.
Yep. Ugh.
It's sweaty down there.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that out?
Sweaty leg gin.
Yeah. Yeah. Frat bros, you gotta go. Bachelor party, you gotta go. Okay. Favorite.
Oh yeah, favorite.
My favorite type of table to serve, and this has nothing to do with money. They could just tip me $1 after I spend my entire night making their experience beautiful.
I know
Is
what you're
just
gonna say.
A couple of old people.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I love them.
As you were as you were starting, I was like trying to think of different demographics. I was like, what is she about to say? I was like, oh, immediately she's gonna say senior citizens.
Yeah, I love old folks. I don't care. I just love them. I think they're sweet, even if they're so grumpy and like they're just like crotchety old people and they hate everything.
Mm-mm.
I love them.
My
old people, 100%. I'm choosing you.
All right, that's fair. My favorite demographic is kind of tied because of the same thing. So I love it when service industry people come in because they get it.
Sure.
And they are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's always nice. They come in and they order everything that they actually want all at once. They either pay you cash or they like understand that they have to start a tab, or they just know the drill already, so you don't have to like explain it to them like a 5-year-old. That you're going to get tipped pretty good, and if you are busy, they get it. You know what I mean? Like no one's going to be like pointing a finger trying to get your attention or clapping or snapping.
Totally.
In a service industry group. And then if we're not including that crew, then I would say like out of town business people.
Okay. Because they got that corporate card.
Yeah. Yes. Because but also usually they travel often enough to know how to like do this thing. And they usually like are pretty respectful for the most part. This isn't always.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. Yeah, for sure.
The caveat on service industry folk is that they get schmammied. And sometimes they can get out of control. And the other thing, like business people, sometimes when they get a little bit drunk, they feel like they're on a vacation from their family, and then they think that they're going to be able to like take you home. Nope. Do not mistake my kindness and service for flirting.
No, Renee's just trying to get that corporate tip money in her pocket. Okay, that's a good answer. I can see that. I still choose old people.
Old people are fun. Yeah.
All right, bring your corporate card and your grandparents, and we'll show you a gay old time.
Hey-o.
We'll love it. Okay, let's maybe do a couple more. Let's see.
Yeah.
We're at like 40 minutes right now. Okay. Okay, how about on that note, one of our questions here, which is pretty funny, is what are the chances of actually getting a bartender's real phone number?
Yeah.
The chances are slim.
Yep.
We're not going to lie about that. But it's doable. It's doable.
Yeah.
Um, I have bartended many years in my life, and I have never once given my phone number out, not once.
Yeah. I was about to ask you that.
No, not once. I mean, people leave their phone numbers all the time, and it's, sometimes you like have a competition with another server or bartender so you can get more.
Have you ever called anybody that left their number?
Definitely not.
Yeah, me either.
No. I'm like far too, I don't know. No, no. But okay, so if you are trying to actually get a bartender or server, whoever's number, someone that is serving you, I would
Yeah.
say, you need to be really careful because it is literally our job. We are getting paid to be nice to you.
Yeah.
So, you can tell when someone is feeling the vibe. You know what I mean? Like feeling that bone vibe, if you know what I mean. Like you can tell when someone's feeling that. Sometimes you're going through the car wash, the guy comes and swipes your card through the window and you got the bone vibe. It doesn't happen all the time. you know? Or
Sure.
maybe you're yeah, you're at World Market just picking up some handmade mittens. And
Yeah.
the guy next to you just reaches for the same one. You lock eyes, bone vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had a grocery store manager give me a free pumpkin pie once.
Super bone vibe.
I was like, yeah.
Wait, why did he give you a free pumpkin pie?
That's a great question. I think because he wanted to bone down.
How do you get free things at a grocery store without stealing them?
I know. He just was like, hey, I have this pumpkin pie. Like, do you want it? And it was like the day before Thanksgiving.
So I
was like, I mean, fuck yeah, why not? And he was like, do you want whipped cream too? I was like, nah. And he was like, oh, okay.
What? This is the weirdest story you've ever told me.
Yeah, he was like the manager at my old Safeway.
Huh.
And he I got a little pumpkin pie bone vibe,
Yeah, you sure did. So
I was married, so it didn't work out.
Yeah. You could go back and see if he has any more pumpkin pies and
Good.
he doesn't just pull his wang out instead.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, how did we get on this subject? Your chances are not good getting a real number, but if you leave your phone number in hopes that someone will call you back, hopefully you left them a really nice tip. I don't know. I would never be interested in someone if they were a shit tipper.
Oh yeah,
Which
that's
is like
the fastest way to shoot yourself in the foot is to be a
Yeah.
shitty tipper or tip anything less than 20%.
Absolutely.
That's a great way to get you on the bottom of the list.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But
I don't think that the chances are that high all the time because honestly, service industry people get hit on all the time and numbers get left behind all the time. Little notes get left on the table all the time. It just happens quite often. People get kind of drunk and they get a little more, ballsy than they might be in real life,
Yeah.
And, if you're having a good conversation with someone who's working behind the bar, they're probably just doing a really good job.
Our perspective is definitely different though, because for one, I've never been a single bartender. I've never been single ever in my bartending career. You have, I guess you have been, but most of the time you're in a relationship, but also we're women. So like, we're not really, that's all right. Like in real life, that's going to be hard for, like, hey, call me sometime. Like you're a stranger. You're a fucking stranger.
No.
But I called I called a friend and I was like, hey, who's a dude?
Yeah.
Dude bartender. And I was like, hey, what do you think about this question? Like, what would someone have to do for you to like call them or get your actual phone number? Or is that even a feasibility? And he was like, fuck yeah.
Because guys are disgusting sluts.
So I think, yeah, your prospects as a woman are a lot higher to get a phone number from a dude. But I think, yeah, I was trying to think too, like, is there a chance, do we know any women that have gone on dates from that, like from customers? Like,
I just feel like none of our, oh,
I just remembered
mhm.
when I was a very young person, I did do a phone number when
Oh,
I was a barista.
okay.
He was a regular and I thought he was cute.
Yes, you
And
would.
then actually I think I asked him out. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah. It doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
But dudes are easier for sure. Um, what did our
He
bartender
said
friend say?
he said uh the to make yourself memorable, but also to be very direct. Like, don't just leave your phone number without like any kind of indication prior to that, because then you're just a phone number on a receipt.
Sure.
um but if you he was like, if you tip well and you hold yourself well, like that's kind of a trial, like a transparent blind date kind of situation. Like if you can
Hmm.
hold yourself well in that scenario, then that's a good indication that you would be a good person to go on a date with.
Huh.
um and he was like, don't be annoying, but be like direct. Like if I'm busy and
Yeah.
it's not possible to like flirt the way that you want to,
Right.
then like, you have to be a little coy about it. But for the most part, just be direct and be a good tipper, I guess.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm feeling this. Are you feeling this? What are we gonna do about it?
Yeah.
God, I hope I never have to flirt ever.
God.
It's not good.
Hey, big
Uh,
boy. Wink, wink.
hey, sexy bartender. How are can I get your number? How about one of those mojitos?
Yeah, totally. Let me
Ugh,
get 5 mojitos.
yeah. Okay. Well, this is going downhill as it always does. Here on our lovely Shots in the Walk-in podcast. Let's end this on a high note that
Okay.
really just um it's really what we're all thinking. And
Hmm.
by it's what everyone's thinking who has not worked in the industry and has been kind of a dick in a restaurant at one point or another. And that is, will my food actually get fucked with if I'm a difficult customer or I complain?
Yeah.
Probably not,
Yeah.
but depends on what kind of place you're in.
Yep.
It certainly could.
Yep.
It, I mean, let's get real. I would never, ever do that. Ever. Ever,
Ever.
ever, ever. Absolutely not. Never.
I have heard a lot of like fast food horror stories
Yeah.
from like people that used to work like uh
Bring it
I,
on.
I'm like, this
Just
is really horrible. So I'm not even going to name who they are, but I know a couple of people that when they were teenagers worked at a pizza chain restaurant. Um, and they like, one of the closing like duties at the end of the night is to refill the Parmesan and the um red pepper flake things that are on all the tables. And they would hawk loogies in,
stop.
yep,
Ugh.
they would hawk loogies in the Parmesan. It's
No.
real life. Real
Like that
life.
actually kind of makes me want to throw up right now.
Yeah,
That's awful.
it's disgusting.
So you have to be a special kind of shithead to be able to do something that to another person. Again, I could never do it. I could never see you ever doing anything.
Oh
Obviously,
no.
not like that, but no, I mean, listen, if you're going into like some super loked out, like small town bar and grill, and you go in there and you're a fucking asshole, yeah, the cook making your burger back there is probably either dipping his balls in your ranch or something. I don't know. It just it's a distinct possibility. If you go anywhere in any kind of, normal situation and you just are kind of a dick or you complain about something that's out of our control, yeah, it's probably fine. But also fuck off and be nice to people.
Yeah, the chance is not, it's not 0%, but it's low.
It's low. It's probably not happening.
Yeah.
What was that? Don't they in that in Waiting?
Yeah.
I'm sure most people have seen. I think that it kind of shows them doing some gnarly stuff to someone's meal.
Yeah, they put like pubes on someone's steak. I don't feel like that's happening in real life, but
it's not.
I don't know. Actually, like I've never worked anywhere where that kind of shit happens.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing that I've ever heard of where I worked was like when I was at Starbucks, there was like one regular customer that was like really rude, and one of the baristas would just give them decaf instead of regular.
It's like so petty and like not that big of a deal, but it's funny.
Yeah. But other than that, like, no, I don't think it's like super likely that anyone's putting their nuts on your,
yeah,
mashed potatoes or something. But
no.
I'd be curious to know if you've got a story out there of screwing with people's food or whatever. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
Send us a little shout.
Yeah, we'd like to hear about that. Because again, I really don't think that it happens that often. And if it does, or if you are someone that does that, please stop.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
I think that it would take a lot. It would take a lot to like piss someone off enough to do that too.
Yeah,
like,
if I like watched you kick a puppy, then absolutely you're getting the butthole burger. But like, it would take a lot for sure.
Yeah,
I will for sure pour drinks light.
Oh yeah,
you're a dick. I have done that 1,000 times for people being a dick at the bar. Like,
sure,
absolutely. Okay, well, I'm just gonna give you an ounce here. Like,
yeah, I will say that actually that brings up a good point. If someone's like super hammered, and I feel like they're on a downward slope, then I'll pour a little light. But one of a bartender trick for you, maybe I'm maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but whatever.
Looking behind the like Wizard of Oz curtain
the curtain. Yeah. A bartender trick to when you go up to the bar and you say, hey, like hook it up.
Oh yeah.
Pour it heavy. And the bartender's like, ugh. We all know that you're not gonna tip. We all know that you kind of suck for saying that. And we're not gonna do, like, no one's gonna do that. No.
We're not giving you free things for nothing.
For sure. But a one way to make people think that you're getting a lot is to do the long pour where you like you pull your bottle up super high, so it's like this really dramatic pour, and you're not actually getting any more, but it looks cool and it looks like a lot.
Sure.
So that's a fun trick for all you non-industry folk.
Yeah.
Also, the biggest piece of advice is don't ever fucking ask a bartender to hook it up.
No, definitely.
It's annoying.
It's not going to happen. We're probably going to pour you a little short just for being annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. It's the truth though.
Yeah.
If you have been steady hooking me up all night, fuck yeah, I will hook you up a bit too. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true.
You're awesome. You're tipping well each round, whatever. You will get hooked up. That is the way to get stronger drinks.
Yeah.
Be polite, say thank you, and tip 20% or $1 per drink minimum at a club situation. Yeah. Club, bar, that kind of thing.
That's probably the best advice to come out of this episode.
Yeah. Well, on that note.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah, that was fun.
If you guys have any more
questions, you go.
If you have any more questions for us, go ahead and send us a DM on Instagram or send us an email, contact@shotsinthewalkin.com. We will happily read your question and answer as we see fit.
Yeah, we will. We'll answer it and it'll be fun too.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, we have some awesome guests in the upcoming weeks we're very excited about.
Yeah.
That should be fun, and hopefully Zoom will stop screwing us over because we
Yeah.
kind of took it personally, hurt our feelings a little bit. We're hoping that doesn't happen again. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, keep your eyes open for those episodes. In the meantime, make sure that you rate and review us. That really, really helps us out a lot. I am trying really hard to continue to upload YouTube videos. So they're not really any different from what you see here. There's going to be some extra content that gets cut in the audio of the podcast. So you'll see us kind of bumble around a little bit more on the YouTube video, and it's just our faces looking at each other and being idiots.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So just be
Yeah.
aware. If you want to be a guest on Shots in the Walk-in, we would love for you to be on here with us because, you know, we like to talk to people and it's fun. We want to hear your stories. Let us know.
Yeah. Hit us up.
Hit us up. All right. Well, next Tuesday we will be here and you will be there and we can't wait.
Yay!
Yahoo. Okay, go take a shot.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye. I just burped.
Pause.